Shalom Israel. My name is Officer Kayadwan out of I.S.U.P.K, Jamaica. I.S.U.P.K started 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. I.S.U.P.K is run by Commanding General YAHANNA, the one man with the rank and the authority to lead Israel at this time. I say Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Shai Barakatam to my brothers. Yahweh Shamar Alatan Ba'asham Yahweh Shai to my sisters. All right, so we're going to talk about the situation where a Jamaican man, you know what I mean, Peter Spencer, was lynched in Pennsylvania by white friends who invited him out camping. You understand? And like we in the I.S.U.P.K always tell our brothers, you know what I mean, don't think that the oppressor is your friend. You understand? Things like this will happen. So without further ado, we're going to jump straight into the story. We're going to read the article and then we're going to break it down as usual. Remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments and interact with us, and also share on all social media platforms. All right?
A man found dead after an overnight trip with 4 other people in December. Tonight, the family demands answers and action. Peter Bernardo Spencer was a 29-year-old Jamaican immigrant. His mother says they came to the U.S. for a better life. Now, she's mourning the end of his life, recalling the moment she learned of his fatal shooting.
I shouted out and I fell on my knees.
The December 12th incident happened at a Rockland Township residence during an overnight trip, including a former co-worker, according to the family lawyer. The lawyer says Spencer worked as a contractor and was dropped off at the gathering by Carmela King, his fiancée, carrying Spencer's unborn child. The fatal shooting happened around 2:30 a.m., according to police, who say Spencer was found dead in the front yard. 1 suspect and 3 individuals were detained and questioned, but released. An autopsy was completed on December 14th, and no arrests or charges have been made, according to police.
We know how many times he was hit. It was 9 times. There may be as many as 7 shots to the back.
Police have not confirmed how many times he was hit, but say multiple firearms, ballistic evidence, and controlled substances were seized from the scene.
I work on JFK, RFK, MLK, O.J. Simpson. This remains among the most puzzling as to what in the hell took place.
The family hired their own medical expert, world-renowned Dr. Cyril Wett, to examine Spencer.
The delay is being caused by the DA and or the police. This is not acceptable.
What additional information do you need, given that you've already examined the body?
I need the original autopsy report, and I need the photographs taken of the body at the autopsy.
According to the family, the coroner has not released autopsy photos to their medical examiner.
Sharing autopsy photos with a medical examiner is not a controversial thing. They have made controversial decision after controversial decision, and it leaves us with no other option but to assume the worst,
leaving the family with more questions than answers.
I just want to know why. That's really all I want to find out at this point.
The Venango County coroner did not immediately respond for comment. The identities of the 4 individuals originally detained and questioned have not been released. The family alleges they were all white. In a statement, the DA said, in part, quote, "The office also takes seriously any possibility that a crime may be fueled by hatred toward a person because of their race." All this Spencer's family holds on to his memory.
He said, "I love you, Mom." He never left the phone, off his phone, without saying, "I love you. Come and give me a hug." He never just said Mom, he said Madre.
All right, we're hearing from the family there at the end of the story. Zinkley, you know, as you mentioned, the family is still waiting for more information. There's a lot of questions surrounding this case so far. What are they hoping happens with these potential lawsuits?
Yeah, Tom, so I asked the family if they plan to sue. Their lawyer did not go into specifics, but did say that they're at the initial stage of the investigation and a lawsuit is likely to come. Meanwhile, the police in a report urged the public to, quote, remain patient. The county DA even said the ongoing investigation could take 4 to 6 weeks prior to making a charging decision. So really, this is something we're going to have to track and see, Tom.
Thanks for watching.
Carmela King, his fiancée, carrying...
All right, so there you had the story, right? You know what I mean? So the brother was shot 9 times, 7 times in his back after being invited out by white Caucasian friends. You understand? That is a classic lynching. That is execution. You understand? 7 times in his back, meaning the person who shoot him, you know what I mean? He was of no threat to them. You understand? This was a lynching. And Pennsylvania is known for being outright racist, one of the most racist, if not the most racist state in the United States. You understand? The attorney, the attorney, the oppressor that was the attorney, you know what I mean? The elderly oppressor initially said that, you know what I mean, he worked on JFK situation. He worked on OJ situation, the case, right? And this is one of the most questionable, you know what I mean? This would have fit in line to, you know what I mean, being suspicious as like those cases were controversial, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of unanswered question going on here, and we already know the conclusion. You understand? The conclusion is this brother was lynched. You know what I mean? All right, we're going to jump into the article. You know what I mean? Remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel, and also share on all social media platforms. You understand? All right. So we're going to jump in a Gleaner article that reported on the matter. See? And it said, no charge in shooting death of Jamaican-born man in Pennsylvania. You understand? It says the family of Jamaican-born Peter Spencer has vowed to continue to seek justice after the authorities in Pennsylvania announced that no charges is to be brought in relation to his shooting death. We are not giving up. We are not done. Even if I have to stand alone, I want answered in the death of my son, declared the mother of the deceased, Isilda Spencer Hunt, right? Spencer was fatally shot while on a camping trip, right? And you know what I mean, this is the reason why we say we don't, you know what I mean, we don't encourage our people to be, you know what I mean, going out making friends with oppressors, because we don't go to camping trips. You know what I mean? If this brother was in Jamaica, which camping trip would he be going to? You know what I mean? That's not our, you know what I mean, style as, you know what I mean, Black, Hispanic, and Native people. But oppressors, they are the ones that like to go out in the woods and camp and, you know what I mean, create all kind of mischief. Continue reading. In Venango County in western Pennsylvania last December, Venango County District Attorney Sean White announced on Tuesday that the shooting was justified. So the attorney, you know what I mean, the district attorney said the shooting was justified. You know what I mean, even though they refused to give out evidence of the man autopsy. Continue reading. And no one will be held criminally responsible for the death. And this wouldn't be, you know what I mean, the first, because Pennsylvania is known for many, you know what I mean, questionable scenarios where Black people were murdered and them just, you know what I mean, round it off to, you know what I mean, self-defense and all of them things there. You see me? Continue reading. White said that Spencer's killing was justified under Pennsylvania stand your ground law. You understand? Where's the evidence? Because the story said, you know what I mean? Where's the evidence that this was self-defense or stand your ground law? Remember, you know, it is the accused, you know what I mean? The people who kill him, who call the police, you know, they came and found a dead body. So what is their evidence, you know what I mean, to say that this brother was, you know what I mean, a threat to any of their lives? You understand? But justified under Pennsylvania stand your ground laws. Where was the evidence that they had to stand their ground? You came and found a dead body. You didn't come and see the brother acting up in any kind of way that was threatening. You came and found a man dead and you let the suspects go. Continue reading. White further said, see, let me read back up. He said his office cannot prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Spencer's death was not self-defense. And also, your office cannot prove without, you know what I mean, a reasonable doubt that he wasn't murdered because you wasn't there. You are working after the people who killed him, you know what I mean, story. Continue reading. White further said that police indicate that there was no evidence that there was hate or that there was racial bias in the killing of Spencer. And this show you that race is also, you know what I mean, this just that response alone tell you that race is the motivation. You right? Because if a black man go out with all white friends and some camping trip and end up dead, you know what I mean? The fact that you say that it's not a racial motivated shows that your decision is racially motivated, because it is clear that he was the only black man on the scene and he ended up dead. You know what I mean? That's the first thing should come to your mind, that maybe this is racially motivated. But like I said, Pennsylvania is known for being one of the most racist, if not the most racist state in the United States. Continue reading. But Spencer Hunter is accusing but Spencer Hunter is accusing the authorities of whitewashing the killing of her son, right? And that is what is going on here. They are whitewashing the killing of her son. You understand? They don't want to give pictures of the autopsy so the private investigators can, you know what I mean, look at the body, look at where the gunshots, you know what I mean, were coming from, and then come to their own conclusion. You understand? And according to, you know what I mean, the attorney for the family, you know what I mean, he said that a couple of the gunshot wounds come from the back of the head. You know what I mean? And come back through the face or through the mouth. You know what I mean? If I'm remembering correctly. That don't sound like, you know what I mean, the killing of somebody who was a threat to you. That sound like execution. You understand? Continue reading. We will be speaking with our attorney as to how we move forward, but I want answers, she said. Continue reading. Spencer was invited to a camping in December with his friends, according to the police. You know what I mean? Spencer was found shot in Rockland. What this article is not mentioning, that all his friends who invited him were white. You understand? Spencer was found shot in Rockland Township in the early morning hour of December 12, 2021. After police were called to the residence on Carl's Road shortly before 2:30 a.m. Bear in mind, you know, they were called and they found a dead body. Them never find a man being threatening to his friends. Them find a man already dead. Continue reading. Spencer, 29 of Pittsburgh, was found to have several gunshot wounds, right? His body was found on the front lawn of the property. White said when the police responded, Spencer was found dead at the campsite along with several guns, marijuana, and psychedelic drugs, right? And this is just them planned, like any corrupt cop, any devil cop, you know what I mean? That like what they do to our brothers over there in the United States. Whenever they commit them crime, they plan something on the scene to say, see, he was the one who he deserved to die. You understand? So them plant marijuana, them plant several guns, as if oppressors aren't the ones who have all the guns. So why would this man come to the camping site with all the guns and he's black, knowing how a racist state like Pennsylvania will treat him for being black and with a possession of a gun? It would be more likely the gun possessors who are the oppressors who would more likely have the gun. What they did was plant guns there to make it look like the brother was, you know what I mean, being aggressive towards them and being a danger towards them. Continue reading. According to him, a suspect reported that Spencer got out an AK and started shooting in the air, which sounds fabricated to me. He further stated that the suspect told the police that Spencer went insane and made the group get on the ground, and that is when he shot Spencer with his pistol. Right? So if Spencer make you get on the ground, right? How are you able to shoot the man? You know what I mean? 7 times in his back and couple times in the back of the head. Don't make sense to me. We're not going to read the whole of the article, you know what I mean, just to say that, yo, we have been telling you, you understand, the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General, Your Honor, I've been telling you that you should beware of the oppressor. You understand? Beware of the oppressor, they don't love you, you know what I mean? And we Jamaicans, we have this, you know what I mean, habit of, you know what I mean, making it seem like our black brothers over in the United States who are suffering this racism, who gets lynched, you know what I mean, on a daily basis, right? As if they are any different from us, as if, you know what I mean, they are complaining too much for the oppression that they are facing over there. We Jamaicans, we tend to be desensitized as to what is going on over there until it happened to us. Until we realize that we are no different from our Judite brothers over there in the United States. You understand? And you are not looked upon any different. The oppressor see you just like a nigger, and if, you know what I mean, the oppressor becomes thirsty for blood, just like how he executes or lynch our Judite brothers over there. They will lynch you too. You know what I mean? You don't have any such thing as a white friend. You're either their pet or their victim. And at that we are trying to make you know. We're going to jump to some scripture to break this down. You know what I mean? In the meanwhile, remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and also leave your comments. You know what I mean? Also share on all social media platforms. You understand? Make things like this go viral. You know what I mean? Let things like this go viral, because this brother could be one of your family members. You understand? This brother could be your cousin, your brother, your uncle. You understand? All right, we're going to jump to the book of Obadiah chapter 1. We're going to read verse 9 and 10. And this is what it says. And thy mighty men, O T-men, shall be dismayed to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter, right? So Esau is the oppressor, Edom, you know what I mean? There was Jacob and Esau, you know what I mean? Jacob became the father of the 12th tribe of Israel. His name was later changed to Israel, right? Esau is the father of the oppressor, the white man. You understand? We are suffering violence from the oppressor ever since slavery, ever since, you know what I mean, the Roman rule back in, you know what I mean, before the death of Christ. We have been suffering under the Romans, which is the oppressors. They have done so much violence. They are the ones that, you know what I mean, overthrew Jerusalem, you know what I mean, and ran us out of the land. You understand? And to this day, up until when they brought us over here in slavery, we have been suffering violence, but the scripture said, you know what I mean, the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. Why? Verse 10, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob. For all the police shooting over there in the United States. You understand? For the systematic racism that exists here in Jamaica. You understand? That force us back into the garrison to kill each other, and for the police to kill us. You know what I mean? To let us suffer poverty, you know what I mean? All kind of oppression and sufferation. For slavery, you understand? For the political division, you know what I mean? And the gang warfare that they created amongst us. You understand? For all of those crimes, you understand? For the violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. And that is what you're seeing beginning to happen today. Shame is covering the oppressor. Now you're seeing America losing their power and their influence in the world. World War III is around the corner. You understand? Russia being another oppressor, you know what I mean, coming up against America, which is another oppressor, and Ukraine, oppressors. You're seeing them going to war with each other now. Shame is beginning to cover them, and the truth is coming out about how they treated the children of Israel, which are Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian. You understand? This brother is a prime example. Even the regular oppressor, you know what I mean, is a murderer and a killer. You know what I mean? Is an oppressor to us. You understand? His so-called white friends invited him out and executed him, lynched him. You know what I mean? And the state of Pennsylvania is protecting them. Not even releasing their identity to say, yo, these are the men that are accused, but we are investigating. Not even their identity, which it's probably a common occurrence. And him being a Jamaican, probably not even know. Because him though come from there. You understand? But the trick, the mind, the brainwash of Christianity make us think that we and these people can ever coexist. You understand? The scripture said, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. And that is what we hope for. The oppressor who has been oppressing us for so long, be cut off forever. You know what I mean? Let me jump to the book of Ecclesiasticus 12 and 10. We will read from 10 to 12. You understand? Verse 10. Never trust thine enemy. And we can't emphasize this enough to our brothers and sisters over there in the United States and even here in Jamaica. Don't trust your enemy, the oppressor is your enemy. Deuteronomy 28 and 68 says, and you will be sold unto your enemies. We were sold to the oppressor, the white man. You understand? The Caucasian. The Bible calls him your enemy. And the scripture is telling you, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. You understand? Don't trust the enemy. Let me continue reading verse 11. Though he humble himself, though he humble himself, though he pretend as if he's your friend. Continue reading. And go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. Yet he pretend that he's your white friend and that you can play video games and go camping with him. Take heed. You understand? And beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass. You know what I mean? Because when you wipe a looking glass, now you can see clearer. You know what I mean? So you being aware now would be you cleaning the looking glass, and then you will see him for what he is. This brother did not get a chance to do that because he didn't, you know what I mean, look at him with caution. So him end up dead. You understand? I know his family want answers. You understand? Let me continue reading. And thou shalt know that his rust has not been altogether wiped away. So even though them tell you today that racism don't exist anymore, and them tell you say, well, you know what I mean, white people are not lynching, are not, you know what I mean, killing black people anymore. This generation of white people, you know what I mean, is not as racist as their forefathers. You know what I mean? You will now see that their rust has not been totally, you know what I mean? Let me use the word that it says, rust has not been altogether wiped away. You will see that in their heart, they still have hatred, the same or even more hatred for you today. You understand? And we in the I.S.U.P.K and the command in general, and we can't emphasize this enough. You understand? Separate from the oppressor. You and them are no friends. You understand? You are food and they are the predators. That's the relationship you have to them. You are the sheep and they are the wolf. You understand? Or the lion or the bear. You understand? You have to be aware of them. You know what I mean? Don't go in no, you know what I mean? You as no single black person going off into no woods with no oppressor. You will end up dead. That is a sure death. You understand? Let me continue reading. Set him not by thee, lest when he has overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. And that is what go on with we. Now we have the oppressors calling themselves the real Israelites, the Jew. Well, they don't call themselves Jew nor Israelite, but Jewish and Israeli. But that is because we put them close to us. You understand? This brother put these young oppressors close to him and they kill him. You understand? You need to be aware of the oppressor. That is the point. You understand? And stop calling us racist. You understand? Stop calling the I.S.U.P.K and the command in general and a racist for bringing out these information. You know what I mean? If there wasn't any information to bring out, we could have not bring it out. What we try to make you know is that you need to be cautious. You need to love your people. You know what I mean? Come back to your covenant with the Most High as the children of Israel. The scripture says, gather yourself together, O nation not desired. Learn brotherhood with your brothers and sisters who are of your people. And stop trying to join the oppressor because you will end up dead. And with that, I say like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave your comment, and also remember share on all social media platforms. And with that,